There we go. Didn't even have time to pretty up. I had to come on the air very, very quickly. I'm using the screen as a mirror, but the screen was giving me problems when I first started. It was kind of like blurred out, and I'm like, what happened? Oh my God, my iPhone. I'm still waiting. If you're watching on the replay, fast forward to the first minute or two. Let me see if I can get some people to come in here again. I just did a live on this and then something broke. Hey, 16 people in the room. Jane, I was wondering if anybody could see me or hear me. Thanks for coming in, Jane, in the chat. Everybody type in the chat if you can see and hear me. I got ready to go back on the air and the camera was all blurred out, like it was in a fog. So I started again and it said that the camera was rotated the wrong way. And I hadn't touched or changed anything. Patricia, welcome. I did a live just this afternoon and then I stopped to watch the ball game. And during the game, some breaking news came out regarding the death of Dolly Parton. If you haven't seen the live video that I did earlier, you might want to go back and see that later. Jean can hear me. Thank you. May Jones. Hi, April. I'm wearing my Dolly Parton t-shirt right now. Loved her, and may she rest in peace. Yes. Melanie. Cincy's mom. Thanks for coming. I did a live earlier where we talked about it for about an hour. However, additional information has just come out. Thank you, any of those that were in the last live that are joining me again for this live. But the cause of death has just been revealed. So I just wanted to come on for a few minutes because a lot of people were asking me that question during my last live. And sadly, it's what I kind of suspected. Thank you. May Jones says, good sound. Yeah, I just found out that she died from cancer. And me being a cancer survivor, that hurts my heart. You know, she recently said, Dolly Parton recently spoke, and she said that when she was taking care of her husband at the end of his life, that she kind of ignored her own health. And this is where it led to all of this, but she didn't really say what was wrong. But I do remember she mentioned something about her kidneys. And then TMZ said kidneys autoimmune. Then I heard her stomach. But now there is an official report that just came out that says it was cancer. And you know what? For me, it's kind of scary because when I had my cancer, I was busy helping my ex-boyfriend, who I hadn't been involved with for many years. I was busy helping him get his treatment for prostate cancer. And he didn't end up making it because his treatment got delayed. And while his treatment got delayed and it didn't bode well for him and he died from the disease, turns out that I had stage 3, grade 3 breast cancer and didn't know it. So, you know, I was kind of teary-eyed the other day when I heard Dolly say, you know, I was busy taking care of my husband, Carl, and I ignored my own symptoms or my own health. And now here we are. They just released information that she died of cancer. I have not seen what type of cancer, but that's what has just come out. So if you were in my show earlier today, we talked about the death of Dolly Parton. This is the second video. This is regarding the cause of Dolly Parton's death. I would like to know, Jean Peters, when she says what type of cancer, I would like to know. Missile Curly, blessed Dolly Parton. She was a good singer and good friends with a lot. Yes, cancer is trouble. Sherry, hello. Where's everybody coming in from tonight? Were you here earlier today? Any of you guys that are in this chat right now, were you here for my afternoon chat? Thank you for the star, Patricia, if I didn't already say so. I'm right in the middle of my game, and this just came out. I just had a little bite to eat. I made myself something in my air fryer. Thank you for my my peps. or my pips. Pips are my PI posse, and my peps are the people sitting on the sideline that didn't join the channel membership yet. But yeah, thank you for suggesting that air fryer, because it's saving me a lot of headaches not having to turn on the oven or the stove during this horrific California heat wave. Patricia sent a star. Thank you. Sandy P, welcome in. Dee Dee, popping by. Love your channel. So sad about Dolly. Yeah, Dee Dee, I did a video earlier about Dolly. I did a live video where we were just kind of talking about it for a while. But sounds like kidney cancer. She wrote about dehydration. Yeah, I suffer from dehydration too ever since actually before my chemo. And but you know, when she said, and this was recently I heard this, she made the statement that she kind of ignored her own symptoms while she was busy taking care of Carl. It just kind of made me feel a little uncomfortable, not for Dolly, but for myself. You know, I know that sounds selfish, but it made me a little uncomfortable because it reminded me of, oh, that's what I did when my ex-boyfriend got sick. I ignored my own health. And, you know, if my cancer had been discovered earlier, I probably wouldn't have had to have as strong as treatment as I did, which probably wouldn't have led to, you know, my heart arrhythmia that I have now, that has been attributed to that very intensive treatment. So boy do I get you, Dolly. You know, I know it's too late now, but I understand, because I was in those exact shoes, even though it wasn't a spouse, but it was somebody close to me, and I helped them out. And you know, I should have been diagnosed probably at least 2 to 3 years sooner than I was. And they just mentioned dehydration and kidney issues and immune issues, but what really killed her? Now they're saying that it was cancer. Oh, yeah. Kim from the Midwest. Kim from Indiana. Enjoy your channel every day after work. Thank you, Kim. Or Kimmy. Or no, Kim, Midwest. I'll get there eventually, Kim. Golden rest in peace. Amen, Dolly. DD, cancer stuff. Yep, I'm living proof. And then when I tried to go on the air, my phone was all like weirded out. But I had it sitting on my desk, and I had like a leftover coffee bean and tea leaf drink. And I wonder if maybe the lens got wet or something, because it looked like it was all fogged out. And I'm like, oh my God, my camera. And then when I wiped it very carefully with a cloth not to scratch it. And then I started a sneezing fit because I went to the mailbox today to pick up an Amazon package that was sent there instead of here, and it didn't arrive, and I went out in 100-degree heat to do that. But I'll have to go back this week. But I had all these bills, and I've been on the phone tonight during my game arguing with some, you know, medical facility about, all I want is a paper bill, people. I've been asking you, and they still didn't send me the paper bill. They just sent me the transcripts, but I still need a bill. You know. And then I just like, oh, all these bills and all this paper. I gotta, as soon as the weather cools a little bit, I've got to walk to the recycle bin tonight. So there's too much cardboard and paper, you know, all around me. Some of it that needs to be saved, and some that needs to be in the recycle bin. Oh my gosh. And then I was like, oh, now my phone, and now YouTube is telling me that the camera is rotated the wrong way and to try again. And I'm just like, oh my God. But I'm not going to make this long because I already did an hour video earlier. Kevin O'Neill, rest in peace, Dolly. Love from Ireland. Welcome in, my Irish brother. Do I know anything about Hilton Perez? Meaning Perez Hilton? Yeah. I've learned a lot more. And I was going to do a video today on that, but then I woke up to the death of Dolly Parton. Yeah. We can talk about that in another video. It's pretty bad. Mimi, welcome back if you were in the earlier show. I'm seeing a lot of new faces. Do you know what arrhythmia you have? Is it AFib? I have had AFib, although I'm not in AFib right now, but I do have other arrhythmias as well. On top of the AFib, where my heart just doesn't beat right. At the end of the day, whose fault is it really that you didn't get diagnosed earlier? It's a combination, my own and some of the doctors that failed to do the test that I wanted. But yeah, it is on me at the end of the day. But, I was, being selfless and, helping another fight cancer at the time. That was kind of more important. But, how can you take care of other people if you're not taking care of yourself? I mean, I did go to the doctor regularly, but I even tried some other doctors and went to some specialists, and nobody was helping me. But it is what it is. And will it take me out someday? Probably, if it's not from the cancer. Even if they come out with a cure tomorrow for breast cancer, that's going to be a little bit too late for me as far as some of the side effects that I've already experienced from the treatment. But I hope they do come out with a cure for, people in the future. I mean, I could still get it again. So, I hope they do have cures. Smash the like button, says Dee Dee. Thank you, Dee Dee. What age was Dolly Parton? She was 80. Yeah, born in 1946. Have you been watching our new edition, KD? Yes. In fact, I was just watching The Nest before this news broke while I was watching the game. And Shadow, he's still sitting on the nest, but he's alone. He's sitting on the nest, and he looks like he's looking over the lake for Jackie. So it was kind of sad. Let me move this lamp a little bit. Yeah. He's been on the nest for quite a long time now. And he's just, like this. He's like looking out over the lake. I was watching the two of them go to one of the pines last night to sleep, but I haven't seen her today. But I'm looking at him. He's right in front of me, actually. I wish I could turn on the camera to show you this, but I can't use somebody else's video. But if you go to FOBBV cam #1, you'll see Shadow sitting there right now. Maybe you were here earlier. I thought so. Nanette, hi again. Yeah, I just had to come back on really quick, Nanette, because the breaking news is that Dolly had cancer. Joyce G, welcome in. Stuart Hunter, Dolly was 80. Yes. Dee Dee, may I ask what cancer you had? I had stage 3, grade 3 breast cancer. Aggressive. Susan Venia, hello. Hi again, Kelsers. Yeah, I came back on the air, Kelsers, because they just announced that Dolly had cancer. Which, I was thinking about recently when she said that she put off her own health to help Carl, because I did the same thing with my ex-boyfriend, who I wasn't even dating at the time. I put off a lot of things. I mean, I did go to the doctor because I have to with, my blood pressure, and, I had my yearly test, but I was late on my mammogram. Too late, and that's on me. So every time I complain about this or I feel a pain, because I hurt every day, I'm in pain for the rest of my life, and I go, April, you should have had your mammogram sooner. And I tell everybody that yeah, it's on me. So for the person that was really rude that came in here earlier and said, oh, it's on you, it's true. It was on me, partially. Your aunt lost her battle with lung cancer. I'm sorry. Yeah, cancer just ravages my family. Mimi, I am 80 also, and today was a wake-up call. God bless you, April. Wow, I didn't know you were 80, Mimi. That's amazing. They know the cause of death for Dolly. Yeah, cancer. Susan, I don't like the R word, and the reason I won't say it is because the R word is only a temporary condition. So I don't like that word, because people say that, and then, boom, they get snake bit. But I'll probably be taken out by the side effects rather than the cancer itself. But I don't want to think that way today. I just know that I'm here today, and I'm here talking to you guys right now. I guess God still wants me to be here. They do mourn too. Yes, Shadow, I swear to God, he's sitting there, and his bald head feathers are in the wind. We're getting a little windy conditions out here now in Southern California, and where it's really, really hot. That's super, super dangerous, because this heat wave's not going to break until next week, and it's getting a little windy. Yeah, I said that in my earlier Bish and Trish, or Bis and Tris, bra. Okay. Dolly Parton lived a good and long life. Yes, she did. But it makes me sad. It makes me sadder than I was earlier today to know that it was cancer. Now, what type of cancer? Still trying to adjust the lighting here. Oh my gosh. The lighting's just different in here at night. Oh, yeah. Going to miss Dolly. She was one of my favorites, says Marcy. Welcome in, Marcy. Yes, she did, Kelzers. Poor Dolly. She went through her cancer so gracefully. Yeah, and she was still planning on going on Broadway, but she had to cancel her tour in Las Vegas or her residency. I'm so sorry you have pain. You are such a good person. Thank you, Dee Dee. Yeah, I have pain everywhere in my body. I am not in Dolly Parton's age group. I'm young enough to be her daughter, but I'm in pain every day. But it could be worse. There's so many people that have it worse than me. Uh, Cozy Sunflower Mom, people are so rude. There is a thing about karma. Whomever puts cancer patients down are sick. I agree with you, Cozy, and I do believe in karma. Kelzers, thank you for the flower. Dee Dee says, we are glad you are here. Me too. I've lost a lot of people. I had 2 people die on the same day since all this has happened. I mean, it hasn't been easy, let me tell you, especially the heart part of it. That's been, look, in hindsight, that's been harder and still is harder right this very moment than the treatment and the cancer itself is these horrific side effects. And just, my surgery, if my cat just touches me the wrong way and I'm just screaming in pain, it still hurts every single day. And I have to go back to the place that I was diagnosed this Friday for a test. I am terrified. Just walking in that room makes me nauseous. Driving to that building, I will stop sleeping days before I have to go there, and I will feel nauseous, and I'll be walking in 102-degree heat because it's in a city that's a little bit to the east of me where it's going to be hotter. Probably have to park my car outside, uncovered, walk through a hot parking lot, and stand there and watch all the people walking in and out of there, some of which have been just diagnosed with breast cancer. And they're so nice at that place. I mean, the medical staff, they're wonderful. But it's hard. It's a really hard place to go. It just really messes with me. And normally I would be on the phone with my friends, while I'm going there or while I'm coming out. But my one friend that was most supportive towards the end, she is no longer with me. So I can't call her, Thursday night to say, oh, guess what tomorrow is? And she'd say, April, don't think about it until 5 minutes before you have to be there. So I'll have to pick up or pull up my big girl panties all by myself and go there on Friday. So the least you guys could do for me is put me on your prayer chains, that it goes well. And then they'll say, well, it's Friday and we won't hear anything on the weekend and, you'll hear next week. Dee Dee, I think about how it's going to be a brutal winter in California and many states due to El Nino. That's what they're saying. That's why I'm pushing my manager to fix this like a sump pump drain that's outside my door because it backs up every year. And I don't want the water pouring into my apartment, especially with my rabbit, her little area being right there. I think about the animals and eagles and Big Bear. It's going to be big snowstorms and rain. You know what? The eagles have over 7,200 feathers. They are built to handle the snow and the rain just fine. Look at all the eagle population in Alaska. They're fine with it. Nanette says, hello, Kelzers. Suzanne, you are a great blessing to us. April, thank you, Susan. You are a great blessing to me for being here. Bish and Trish, Bra, am I saying that right? I'm a medical student in the UK. Oh, wow. Welcome in, UK. Where in the UK are you? And I'm actually sitting in on a breast cancer clinic next week. That's fantastic. Kelzers, I hope you're having a great evening. Nanette, okay. You guys talk amongst yourself. Marcy says, so sorry. April, Dee Dee. Oh, my God. I'm not looking at the screen in front of me because I'm looking at shadow. Let me switch screens. I didn't see that. I didn't see it. Where's my live chat? Come on, live chat. I should be able to see it on my computer. Well, where is it? It says waiting for April Davis PI. Are you kidding me? It says that I'm not even on the air yet. Am I on the air? Because remember, I had a problem. Let me take Big Bear Valley, runs the Big Bear Valley cam down. Let me refresh YouTube. Let me hit live. Go to the second Dolly Parton video. It says waiting for April Davis PI. Okay. Waiting for April Davis PI. What? What do you mean it's waiting for April Davis PI? There's two of them because it wouldn't let me connect. What? Okay, the one that says just waiting for April Davis PI, I'm going to click delete since I'm already on the air, I think. I mean, somebody just sent me a friggin' super chat. Live now. Yeah. Go to YouTube video link. Yeah. There's my chat. Oh, those people are clicking that going, April Davis PI, she's getting ready to go live. I am live. So let me heart that super chat. Thank you, Dee Dee. Everybody go give Dee Dee, DDH20, a thumbs up on her super chat. I'm sorry that took so long, Dee Dee. Did I give you the hype horn? You get it again if I did. Joseph says, I wish you all the best in your journey. Thank you. I am there, Marcy. Somebody sent me a super chat. It's just the screen said waiting for April Davis PI, like they're waiting for me to start the show. I'm already here. I just took Shadow down. Now I can't see him anymore. Susan says, yes, amen. You're in Edinburgh, Scotland. Oh, wow. We've had Ireland in here tonight. We got Scotland. Welcome in. I love it when people from other parts of the world come in. Joseph Heron says, yes. I saw you. Why? I found you. You are good on YouTube. Thank you. I did a show earlier today about Dolly, but this is updated information. I will be saying a prayer to St. Luke, the physician, to give you strength and comfort for your upcoming test and that you have negative results. Thank you, Nanette. I have so many things. I even had to pick up a big box at my mailbox today, and I thought it was, somebody said they sent me a gift, that it was coming from Amazon, but it wasn't on like my Amazon wish list because that just died after July 5th. And I carried this big box in my car, and then I realized, like, oh no, this is the big testing kit that the urologist has sent. That's not the Amazon thing that didn't get delivered. So that's still sitting in my car. I have to go get that tonight because I have to do a 24-hour test. You don't even want to know, starting tomorrow morning for that. And then send samples in the mail. Not going to be fun. And then Friday, back to the breast place. Like, yikes. And remember, I'm already missing one. So, it's mind-bending. Brian Ray, with a broken heart, I hate to say that country singer superstar Dolly Parton died today. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, Brian. And I just found out that it was cancer. If anybody knows what type of cancer, please feel free to put it in the chat. Renee Brown says, we will miss you, Dolly. And thank you for the people that were at the earlier live where we actually talked about the death of Dolly Parton. This is just a subsequent live because since I went off the air and I just had a little bit to eat and was watching my game and just, doing all the things I do after I go live and doing the back end work on YouTube, setting up the hashtags in the video description and getting everything loaded post live, I saw that it just came out that she has cancer. So I would assume, or that she had cancer, I would assume that's the truth. Dolly, she was made in America and beloved by the world. Yes, yes. Yep, I know the 24-hour test well, April. I told the doctor, I'm like, this better not be the one where I have to pee in a hat and go to a lab at 4 a.m. because I won't do it. There's just certain things I tell doctors now, I won't do it anymore. I even told the urologist, remember when I was here 20 years ago and you took those pictures because they thought I had cancer then and I didn't? And it was a complete waste of time. And I got in a really horrific car accident going to the darn MRI that ended up being a CAT scan. And, they were trying to carry me into the ambulance. And I'm like, no, because I have to go have my MRI. And then they were like, oh, the doctor ordered the wrong test. And you went through all this preliminary BS for nothing. As I sat there in shock. To say that I was fine. So now you're going to go to the doctor and you're going to get the camera test. And I told him then, don't ever lose these pictures. Because when I come back from you years from now, when I'm really sick, I'm never going through that test again. And I'm been really sick since, 2016, but diagnosed 2019. And, I finally got to see him again so he could do my kidney procedure, which, by the way, didn't completely work. And so now, there's a big giant box that took the whole front seat. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. Will that even fit into my bathroom? Because I'm going to be using that for 24 hours starting in the morning. Like, oh my God. Well, go take care of that. Get that wrapped up, Thursday? And then, start setting all the alarms Thursday night so I can go get the follow-up on the right boob on Friday. And then once we get into September, I get to go to all my cardiology and oncology appointments. That's if everything goes well. Yeah, it's always something. But you know what? We're all here today. We're blessed. Dolly, she's no longer in pain. If it was cancer, I'm kind of glad that it was quick. And, she didn't have to suffer. I hope she didn't suffer. Let's just pray that she didn't suffer and that she's with Carl and she's singing and playing guitar on the other side. Yeah, that's why we're here, AJ. Oh, you told your gastroenterologist I would not do a colonoscopy ever again. I was scheduled to have that several years ago during the pandemic, actually. And they told me that I needed the endoscopy on the other end instead, and that they normally do them together. But because there was a pandemic, they would only do one. So I had to have the one in the stomach. Yeah, I never got hosed on the other end yet. But I've had so many MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, tests, that they would probably see something, at least if it was in advanced stages. But that's on my to-do list. But I got to figure out who's going to give me a ride. That's a big issue now. I'm running out of people to give me rides. I'm too busy trying to fix everything else before I can, deal with that. I've had 2 sets of abdominal x-rays this year. Let's just pray that's clear. But yeah, you can be really messed up from that, but it can also save your life. Marcy says, be right back, no problem. You got to keep the stupid 24-hour bottle in the fridge. I don't hardly have any room in my fridge because one of my shelves is broken. So I've got everything that was on that shelf down on the lower end. So, oh boy. The spooky people are watching. By the way, careful. The spooky people, maybe you're one of them. I'm going to put you in a timeout. Goodbye. We will miss you, Dolly, says Renee Brown. Yeah, I did, like I said, I did a video earlier. This is just a short coming on this evening just to give you the update. Does anybody know, has anybody had a chance to read more than I was able to read? Because I was, busy doing other things. Does anybody know what type of cancer it was? Because all I've heard is that she's been suffering from dehydration and kidney issues. But then today somebody said stomach. I don't even remember where I heard that. Does anybody know what type of cancer? Oh, Kelsa says, I haven't heard what type. And who broke the official news? Because the nephew that gave the statement today, he never mentioned cancer in his statement. They haven't disclosed it yet, I don't think. Okay, but who disclosed just this evening that it was cancer? Who disclosed that? Is that even true? Maybe this should be confirmed. Has that been confirmed? It has been confirmed. Okay, somebody's writing a comment on my other video saying it has been confirmed she passed away from a brief battle with cancer type undisclosed. Okay, that was a comment because I see the old thumbnail where it says Dolly Parton dead, age 80. So that was the earlier video I did today, and somebody must have just wrote me a comment 45 minutes ago. But who made the subsequent announcement after her nephew that just said it was cancer? Nanette, that's what I was told, April. The CT scan and MRI, and because of my health, they couldn't do surgery for intestinal cancer. Okay. People Magazine said it? Okay. Was it TMZ? I don't even know where I just saw it because I was like, oh my God, I got to come back on the air. Because all these little notifications were popping up on my phone. If I had to guess, probably kidney related. Yeah, and that can usually be cured as long as you catch it. Although one of my chemo buddies that did die, she did have that as well. Her spokesperson said it, Jenny Bear. I heard kidney stones. I had heard that too because I'm dealing with that, which is why I got to go out to the car tonight and carry that big heavy box into my house and figure out what do I got to do with this. Because he's like, well, let's try this. And I'm like, as long as I don't have to go to the lab at 4 a.m. and piss in a hat. Because there's just certain things I'm not going to do anymore. You know, if they told me I had to start chemo and radiation all over again, I might choose not to. Been there, done that. Hopefully they'd have some other cure by then where they could just give me a shot. Because my heart wouldn't handle it. They'd probably hook me up to the IV, and within 5 minutes of the pre-chemo that they put in you, I'd already be gone. And that sucked the first time when I thought the chemo was finally in my body and I was starting to pass out and I thought I was having a bad reaction. And then they were like, oh no, that's just the pre-drug. That's the Benadryl. And I was like, nurse, 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 as I was fading away, you know, because I thought, uh-oh, there I go. And they're like, yeah, we haven't even started the chemo yet. These are the pre-drugs. You're there for like all friggin' day. Oh, and then you can't drive home because you're all effed up, like you're drunk or something. It's awful. And then a few days later, you get really, really sick. And just by about the time you start to feel better, they're like, oh, time to go again. And then they're like, okay, you graduated from that one. And boy, you wouldn't even know you had cancer. But now you need the really bad one. You need the red devil. And that's the one that got to my heart. That's the one that tanked my white blood cell count to a 1. Oh my gosh. You heard kidney stones. Kimberly, I'm doing the HAP 50-ounce all fluids. GFR 2-3 getting heart surgery, ceramic valve leaking per echo. I have that too, the leaky valve. I'll pray for you, Kimberly. That's horrible, April. So sorry. Stacks, welcome in, Stacks. How you doing, my friend? Kelsa sent the floating heart. Thank you. Yeah, this is the second video of the day. It's just, you know, there was one announcement, and now there's the second announcement. So, and I missed the game and they lost. Oh, boy. Ah! Now my phone keeps going crazy. I'm like, are my glasses dirty? Is my eyesight going? Like, what's going on with my phone and my lighting? And spirituals. Spirituals Wag. Hello from Kentucky. Hey, Kentucky. Yeah, my valve is leaking, but they said just a little bit. They're not that worried about it. My bestie has the same thing. We're all going to go someday, everybody. But it just, it saddens me, especially when she said that, she put off her own health. I just had to adjust my back. She had to, put off her own health, or she didn't have to, but she chose to help Carl. And I did the same thing with my ex-boyfriend. I probably should have been diagnosed 2 to 3 years sooner than I was, and then I probably would have, the outcome probably would have been better as far as the side effects and the type of treatment. But who knows? It is what it is. You have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. You're off work. Mine is on Friday. I hope you do well on yours. I'll be doing my big old testing that jug tomorrow, whatever's sitting out in my car that I haven't opened yet, because I'm like, I don't want to deal with that until I go to bed, and I'll look at it and have it set up for tomorrow. Spiritual says, I have a leaking valve. I'm a retired LPN. License, is that a licensed nurse practitioner? Yeah, it is what it is, Just hope I make it through all these appointments, and I just want a break. And then you get everything done, and they're like, okay, well, now we did that. Now we got to order this. And then, then you go to that, and they're like, okay, now we have to do this. And you got to add, and they're like, have you seen your primary? No, not like in 5 or 6 years, because I've been too busy fighting for my life and seeing the oncologist and the radiologist oncologist and the 2 separate actually there was 3, the regular cardiologist, the interventional cardiologist, and the electrophysiologist cardiologist. And then there was a guy who was like not a kidney doctor, but not an internist, but handles people with diabetes as well. But I don't have diabetes, but I had to see him for a while for the thyroid, because I still got those 2 tumors to deal with. It's always something. Yeah, Kimberly, I hope you get well, baby. Yet pass you around money, more money. What do you mean about money? You're doing fine for 67. Do I have a lot of animals and birds? I have a bunny and a cat. My place isn't big enough to have a bird. Doctor bills. Yeah, I had a big stack on my desk, and it started a sneezing fit before I went off the air. Because I have one of the emergency room doctors, they keep sending me email bills, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. And they're saying, oh, you opted for you opted for paperless billing. April Davis would have never opted for paperless billing, because I'm one of these very organized people where I have, this copy, and I have my backup copy, and I have my hard drive copy. I have to have stuff to prove things to the IRS. So send me a paper bill. They didn't send a bill. They just sent a list of the transactions. The lady on the phone said I owed $36. I get the bill. No, you owe like $155, dating back to 3 years ago. I'm like, what? How come you never sent me the bill? And then I get this big fat envelope today that was crammed into my tiny little business box. And I'm like, oh boy, this can't be good if it's this thick. They needed a thick envelope to send it. And they couldn't even like fold it into a 3, like, oh no. Did they send me an envelope? No. Did they send the little tear off thing? So I had to call, like, okay, now where do I send the check? Because I got my copies, but I still don't have effing paper bill, people. But I didn't use the F word, but I wanted to. And of course, every time you call, there's somebody that answers the phone that barely speaks English. And it sounds like, she was in India or the Philippines or something. Like, she probably was. Ugh. You just have to do yearly blood work. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, spirituals wag. We're all here for you. We got a lot of older people in this chat. Not everybody, but a lot of older people that come in, and you know, we support each other here. And I guess today was my off day from the arrhythmia pill, so it was a little stronger today. But I realized I was a day overdue for my bone pill, and that really hits me the second day. Like tomorrow, I'll have the arrhythmia pill and the side effects from the bone pill, plus everything else that I'm on. So tomorrow might be a little rough. Kimberly says you're 61. Well, welcome in. Where are you at, Kimberly? Well, you don't need to give us like your exact physical address, but you know, spiritual swag. I was saying spiritual swag. Okay, spiritual swag. Now I've got it. New sub. Thank you. Where are you at? Spiritual swag. Oh my gosh. Hey, can anybody in here that's a channel member put up the custom emojis? Because you know, I just unlocked the 14th one, and then last night it was saying you need one more member to get 14 emojis, and I'm like, huh? I've already got 14. And then today I checked it, and it says you need another 3 members to unlock the 14th emoji, and I'm like, did they take one away? And I tested it, you know, in my own comments, like, it was like, yep, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I know how to count. That's 14. But it's still telling me that I need another 1, and now today I need another 3. Whereas the day that I got it, it said I needed another 25 members to get to number 15. So I think YouTube is having an issue right now. I got to run April night all. Good night, Kimberly. Thanks for coming. Oh, there, Stacks put up. That's the newest. That's the newest one. That's the 14th one. That's the Jackie emoji. There they are. Yep, I see all 14 of them. Yep. So YouTube, I've already got 14. I think it would be a long ways away, though, to hit that 15 goal. Because I want some more holiday ones up there. That's why I put some of the holiday ones up early. And I made them because I knew it would be, you know, I'd have to get a lot to open more. Because they're very stingy. You start out with like 3 or 4. And then they're like, okay, if you get this many more, not subscribers, but members, then you can open one more, you know, and then, okay, now you got to get this many more, and then you can get another one. How do I become a member? You just hit the membership tab, either on the main channel page, or you just go to, I think you can hit the, let me see, the super chat tab, and just go down to membership and click it. And if you are already an existing member and you've been a member for at least 1 month, you can put the membership display like in the chat and show everybody that you are a member, and you can type like a little message, whatever that's called. We looked it up before once on a live, but darn if I can remember what they call it. But there's that little membership, not the badges that have the little star in them next to your name, but the actual like display that comes up like so-and-so just became a member, you know, where you can write a little message. MV, hi, awesome April Davis, and all great fans and members. Yeah, I got Pips in here, and I got Peps in here. You guys that are the Pips, obviously the PI posse. The Peps are the people sitting on the sidelines, and I can't throw out any more free ones this month until September, because I've already used all my gifted ones to hand out. Are you going to jump on the Hayden story? I don't know what that is. There's a button that says join after you hit the subscribe button. Oh, okay. Thank you, Nanette. Yeah, I know. When I look at my screen and I look at the chat, if I click my own super chat button, it says membership or membership gifting or super chat. I don't think I can I send myself my own super chat? Now, why would I do that? Because they would take like 52% or something. You following the Keep D. Davis trial, also known as the Tupac trial? No, I'm not, Stacks. I mean, I hear a little bit about it, but no, I'm not. But thank you, Nanette, for putting that up there. Yeah, there's so many cases to keep track of. Yeah, still, I had some interesting updates on Perez Hilton that are not so great. But we're gonna have to do that another day because today is we're gonna call this Dolly Parton Day. There it is. I am still a pip. Mostly Dallas Helicopters, 2 months. Thank you, Mostly Dallas Helicopters, for showing the members how to do that. The actress that died, Hayden, or whatever her name is, cops are now changing it from. Oh, you mean that case? Oh, yeah, okay. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Cops are now changing it from suicide to criminal. All I know is that they found like a substance at the scene. I can't say the word because this is YouTube, and they found a Narcan. They found Narcan in a substance, supposedly. But and I know that her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend was apparently with her or found her, but there's some sketch stuff about it. But yeah, I'll look more into that. So yeah, I know who she was. I was just like, who? My mind is on like the Nancy Guthrie case, the Perez Hilton situation, and today Dolly Parton. Remember to go up to 7 days back. Oh, recent to 7 days back, and watch the videos and hype and like. Thank you, MVUMV. Mostly Dallas Helicopters. Everybody give Mostly Dallas Helicopters, one of our Canadian friends, a like on that Canadian $2 super chat. Appreciate that, my friend. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. If you weren't here, I think you were here, Nanette. Yeah, she passed away yesterday at 82. Yeah, we talked about her because I used to see her all the time on the One Day at a Time set for season 9. And I don't think I ever met her or talked to her. I've met her husband once before, just briefly. And I saw her for the entire season, the 83-84 season of season 9, One Day at a Time, there with her. She was there with her aunt a lot of the times because Nanette was also on the show. But Shelley, she seemed like a nice person. She was really professional on the set. She worked well with people. And her husband seemed like a nice guy too. So I've seen them both. He said hello to me. I said hello to him, but I don't know if we ever spoke the whole time that I was there because I wasn't working that show. I was just an audience member. But we talked about that in the last video today. Nanette says, thank you, April. I'll go back. Thank you. Yeah, we talked a little bit about that. She was a sweetheart. She had a liver transplant many, many years ago. And I don't know why she needed it, but she did, and she got it, and she survived. She was 82. I couldn't believe that. Like, oh, wow, has it been that long? And I thought about it. Like, I haven't seen her since the 80s. I know she had a business box at the same place I have my business box in Studio City, but I don't think she was there anymore. But I've seen her name come up a few times at my address, and I'm like, oh yeah, she must have been one of the many celebrities there. But she was super sweet. But I didn't personally know her. Been around her a lot, 40 years ago. The jab got her? Let's not go there. Tamitha Rogers, let's not go there. Have I ever met Denzel Washington? No, but I've seen him quite a few times because he used to live in the neighborhood that I live now. And yeah, I've actually seen him in Studio City. He was there with his wife at the market, actually, and everybody was like, that's Denzel. That's the same supermarket where a lady was standing behind me, and it was Sophia Loren. And it was funny because I was at the Ralph's down the street years before, and I was standing in this line once in the back in the day where they had the paper tape. Well, I guess they still have the paper tape today, but it's before they had like the scan. And anyway, a bunch of people were standing in the line, and I had been bebopping to Van Halen in the car, and I was still bebopping while I was in the line, like, oh, I always pick the wrong line. Why is it that my line it always broke? It always breaks. And then the like guy in front of me was just rolling his eyes, like, oh my God. And then I looked at him, and then he kind of looked away, and I looked again, and he looked at me like, don't say anything. And I looked away, and I was like, am I hallucinating? Because that's Eddie Van Halen. And I knew his wife from like years ago, like because I was on that set at One Day at a Time for season 9. And that was a long time ago. But I was like, and I've seen Wolfie a couple times too when he was just a baby. But it was like, I'm standing in line with Eddie Van Halen, like, and I was bebopping to Van Halen in my head, like just, you know. And then he was standing right next to me. Oh my God. But yeah, I met Sophia Loren at the same, I didn't meet her, but she was standing right behind me at the same market where I used to see Denzel Washington quite a bit, actually. But then he moved to Beverly Crest, so uh, one of those estates that's up on the hillside. Um, oh my God, she's such a favorite star of mine. Sophia Loren was phenomenal and loved her with Cary Grant. Most of her stuff was before my time, but I do remember her when, what were those movies that she did with Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau? And I've met him in the doctor's office before, Walter Matthau, years ago in Beverly Hills. But what was those Grumpy Old Men or something? They did those movies, and she's in one of them. She's hugely tall, like in real life. And I'm pretty tall for a girl, so it's always surprising when I see like a female like star that's tall. But she's tall. Some of those girls from Three's Company, they were really tall. Marcia Strassman, who sadly died of breast cancer, I briefly had met her a few times. She was hugely tall for a girl. But Sophia Loren, and she was wearing high heel shoes on top of it. She was like 10 feet tall. Yeah, Grumpy Old Men. Yeah, those were good movies, actually. Walter Matthau, he's the best. She was just standing in the line, like, and everybody was like, oh, same thing with Denzel. Like most people in LA, they don't get starstruck, but how often are you standing in line with Eddie Van Halen or Denzel Washington or Sophia Loren? But that's just LA. I've always wanted to see Eddie Van Halen in concert, and I never got the chance. But how many people can say they were standing with him in line at the supermarket? Doyle says hello. Hello, Doyle. Where are you coming in from? Yeah, I already had a live earlier today where I reported the death of Dolly Parton, but since I went off the air, more information came out that she passed away from cancer. And then, I'd been thinking about that, especially when she made that statement about how she put her own health aside to take care of her husband, Carl. And I started thinking back to like, well, remember when I was helping my ex-boyfriend when he had his cancer, and I put my own stuff off, and turned out I had cancer too at the same time, but I didn't know it yet. And so that kind of hurts my heart because, if Dolly were here right now, we could speak to her or she could hear me, you know, I would totally get it. You know, sometimes you're busy trying to help other people and you're not taking care of, your own problems. Yeah, New York is like that too with stars and artists living there. Absolutely. You never know, you know, especially in my job. I've met so many people. It's funny, a few months ago, I had a huge medical appointment. In fact, it was a year ago because I remember it was in July. Not this July, but the July before. And I had a really huge appointment with electrophysiologist, cardiologist, and so I get so many scam calls in the morning that I just have the ringer turned off. I didn't look at my texts. I didn't look at my calls. And then finally, when I got through that appointment, and I was just like, okay, I made it. And I got home, I started going through the phone, and there was this number that I didn't recognize that was from Malibu. I've, had a few clients in the years past from Malibu, but it didn't have a name attached to it. So I'm like, well, let me look this up and see who this is. Because, Malibu, you can't make a lot of calls from cell phones. You got to use a landline because, especially if you live up in the hills and the canyons and the mountains of Malibu, there's no signal in Malibu. It's really hard to work out there because there's always problems with the signals. And so somebody was calling me from a landline. And it was actually registered to a person where his show business name is different than his real name, but I know the real name. And I was like, that sounds familiar. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh my God, I've been watching him perform since the 80s. Did he call me? Because it's just him and his wife that live there now. Their kids are already grown and moved away. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I found out that he was on tour, but he had come home for July 4th. And then he was leaving on a certain day. So I called back, pretended like I didn't know who it was, and said, hey, and I never said I was a PI because I don't know who called from that house. And I'm like, hey, this is April. I got your message and, or I missed your call. You can call me back at this number and, have a nice day. And I never heard from him, but it still bothers me. Like, was it him? Was it his wife? Like, oh my God. And I missed it because, I'm handling the medical, train wreck of my life. And still, it would have been cool because, the guy's a multi-millionaire rock star living in Malibu. Maybe he, I would have said, well, I'm semi-retired, but, what can I do for you? Would have been a nice person to know. And then there's certain friends that I grew up with, and even my sister, if they knew, if I could say who it was, they would fall over dead. Like, who would have ever guessed, in your future, somebody from that house is going to call for April Davis, wow. But you know what? I guess it wasn't meant to be. Mimi says, hi, are you back again, Mimi? Oh, you had to leave for a while and then you came back. Okay. I'm still here. I shouldn't still be here. But if anybody hears what type of cancer that Dolly Parton had, let me know. Because that was not revealed by the nephew, whose name I don't recall right now, who made the statement today announcing her death. And it also depends on if her death certificate will be if it's public in Tennessee or if it's private. Empire State Building glows pink tonight for Dolly. Was it breast cancer? Oh my God. That will kill me if it was it breast cancer. Where did you hear that, Nanette? The Empire State Building glows pink tonight for Dolly. Do you mean like breast cancer pink? Let me get into Google here. Let me move this over just a little bit. Sorry, we're not having an earthquake. I just need to see my screen. Let's see if there's anything else on here. I will die if it's her. I mean, cancer is cancer. It sucks either way, but her team did not elaborate on the specific kind of cancer. Joy Sizemore, welcome in. Gordon, welcome in. Yeah, it doesn't say here. It's not being said. Why are they picking pink? Entertainment Tonight said it in a recognition of 9 to 5. Oh, that the Empire State Building put the pink color on tonight? Joy from Ohio. Yeah, that is cool. Kelser says, wow, Nanette, thanks for letting us know. That's cool. That is. I hope it wasn't breast cancer pink, though. Like I said, cancer's cancer. It doesn't matter what it was. It sucks. It's terrible. Ugh. My gosh. God, I hope she just didn't suffer. Because she was making statements as late as Friday, and it's only Tuesday. It was 9:25 tonight. Wow. I know that Carl Dean, her husband, he passed in March of 2025. And earlier it says she was hospitalized with a combination of kidney and autoimmune issues 5 days before her death. Well, I heard it was Friday. But isn't that the same day that she made a statement? Hey, baby. Come here. I want to show you to the audience because you didn't want to show yourself earlier. She doesn't like to be picked up, but this is the love of my life. Can you see her through the green screen? This is the great Kelsa Kinsley kitty. Yeah, I know you don't like it. You don't like it. Say hi. Everybody wants to say hi, Kelsa. I know. I know. Okay, I'll let you down. You want to jump? You want to jump? She is the best, Nanette. She is a beauty, Eileen. Her name is Kelsa, actually, after Kelsa Kinsley. If you don't know who Kelsa Kinsley is, go to my Rest in Peace playlist on my main channel page. Kelsa's putting up the Kelsa Kinsley kitty custom channel emoji for my pips, for my PI posse. You know, and I feel so bad for her after I got the new sofa. Because remember, she destroyed the old one, but it already had a broken spring. So I finally just had to cough up the money to get a replacement, but I didn't want her to tear it up. So I got her this cat scratcher. It was like $20 on Amazon, and you have to put it together. It has a lower level, and then it goes up like an L. And I've got the L like right up against the corner of the sofa because that's where she likes to go, is after the corners. And I sat her on it multiple times and like, okay, this is your scratcher. And I picked up her little paws and I went, okay. And then she was like, and I'm like, oh my God, she learned. Well, guess what? In the middle of the night, I put it up on my Facebook. The cat or the bunny has been sitting on that in the middle of the night. I didn't know what was happening. And I finally caught her in the act. The bunny sits on that thing on the first deck, like the lower part of the L. She sits on it at night and she leans over the front of it and she eats the cardboard. And so it's disintegrating. And the hole started like this big. Now it's like this big. And so the cat, when she climbs up and she tries to stand, she doesn't have enough room to put her back legs because there's a big giant hole in the thing. And I'm like, good God, I haven't even got the bill for that yet. All that's being paid with the next YouTube check. Like, are you kidding? That I'll get on September the 21st. If I live that long. You know, it's like, I'm going to have to order another one. Oh, I just can't believe it. And usually it's the cat, but every now and then the bunny's like, I got to eat some spicy hay, or I'm going to take out the new cat scratcher. So, you know, does the bunny, you know, she's tiny. Like, she shouldn't have that much cardboard in her tummy. Like, and she's got chew sticks and she's got hay. You know, she's perfectly healthy, but she's eating paper at night. And I can't take it down or move it because then it won't be covering the sofa. And then the cat'll just go. So anyway, I missed the end of the game. They lost. I guess it sucks. Cancer sucks. Dolly, we love you. If you didn't see the video earlier today, please go see that. Thank you for the 23 cents in jewels. Thank you for the $6.64 in super chats. I know some of that was Canadian, thus it rounds off differently. It's $6.64. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you are subscribed to me. Give this video a thumbs up. Share my videos. Hype my videos. Do whatever you have to do to get me out there, because we are currently at, let's see, where are we at on the dashboard? We're at 8787. Well, what a number. We are at 8,787 subscribers. So I'm pretty close to 9. It had gone from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 like really quick, but it took almost 6 years to get to that point. So let's just get it up there a little higher. And then I can say I hit 9K, and then we'll let it ride. Whatever happens, happens. I'll just be making videos, and I won't really concern myself past the 9K point, like where it's going to go. Margaret says, I felt so sad to hear this, such an icon. I know. Rookie numbers. I know that. But I'm thrilled to death with it, because this is not a niche channel. This was just a channel that I started to document my life after surviving cancer. So I'm very happy with it, and my audience is very happy with it. But if you don't like it, Alamo, go see somebody else. You don't have to be here. I'm not forcing you to watch. What is it? Last time I had to stop the show to give you some wet food, but you already ate that twice today. Do you want to play with your toy? You want me to get your toy? What is it? She just needs Mama's attention. She is a whiner. She is nothing like my male cats or nothing like my mixed Mancoons. She is a handful. Just like the real Kelsa Kinsley. Okay, she says, don't hold me. Girls are hard. Boy pets are so much easier. Yeah, I'm sad too, Margaret. I kind of expected that she was sicker than she was letting on. But I didn't expect to wake up today and hear this news. I think it was much more serious than what she was saying. And she is snuggly, especially at night when I'm trying to sleep. And she needs to be under the covers, and it has to be a certain way, and a certain type of cover, and a certain direction. And then she has to go out and come in, and go out and come in. And then she starts suckling my arm, but I'm trying to sleep. Yeah, it is. Mimi says bummed out. Yeah, this is a tough one. Because everybody loves Dolly. I'm not even a country music person. Oh, bye, Kelsers. I didn't see that. Have a good evening. Thank you for coming a second time today. Yeah, I just love Dolly. Never met her. That's what makes me sad today, is that she was 80. I'm not 80, but I've had a long life, and feels longer than it has been because of everything I've been through medical-wise. But, I've been fighting this thing for 7 years, and it's probably been in my body for 10 years. And she just got sick. Was it this year? And just like that. Well, she was probably already sick when she was taking care of Carl, and that was in 2025. But he might have started going downhill in 2024. So, yeah. I understand what that's like. You're taking care of somebody else, and you're letting yourself go, and there's only so much time in the day, and it's work, 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 and but at least she lived to be 80. But if she did have cancer and she was in pain, I'm glad that she is out of pain. If it was bad enough to take her out, it was probably not fun in the end. There's usually a lot of pain and suffering associated with cancer. There's no good way to go when it's cancer. It's ugly in the end. Diane says, I've never been a country music fan. Me neither. But I do have a few Faith fans, and Dolly has always topped the list. Yes, she will be sorely missed. I agree. Oh, the musical 9 to 5 was dedicated in England this evening at live performance. I forgot about the musical 9 to 5. I've seen the movie, obviously. I never saw there was like a TV show. Never saw the TV show. And I've never seen the musical. I know, Sue. I came on earlier, but I had to come back because more information just came out. And I sent you an email, Sue. Eric, Jolene, I know. The audience was in shock. Oh, I guess they hadn't heard yet, because it's like 7, 8 hours ahead in England. Okay. They probably hadn't heard. Her co-stars 11 and miss her, I bet. Well, I hope you're in a better place, Dolly, and I hope you're with Carl Dean, the love of your life for 60 years. I hope they're throwing Dolly a parade right now. And she's got her guitar and her dancing shoes, and she's singing, and heaven is definitely a better place as of today. But thank you for coming back. For those that were here earlier, thank you for the jewels. Thank you for the super chats. Make sure you guys, the members, throw out your membership tags when you can. Maybe Dolly's singing in heaven with my husband. She's definitely putting on a show there tonight, I think. A lot of people happy to see her. Oh, thank you for the baseball emoji. One of my pips, mostly those helicopters. Thank you for you, April. Well, thanks for saying that, Mimi. Thanks for coming in, because I wouldn't be able to keep doing this if you guys weren't subscribing and liking. Even the penny jewels, it really helps. And eventually I will get back to where I was gonna do an update today on Perez Hilton, but not today. We're just gonna dedicate this day to Dolly Parton. This is Dolly Parton Day. This will forever be Dolly Parton Day, August 25th. When was her birthday? Maybe they could dedicate her birthday to Dolly Parton Day rather than the day of her death. I know she was 80, and she was born in 1946, but when is her birthday? I'm going to look that up. I want to know what day she was born. January 19th, 1946. Okay, so she already had her birthday this year, obviously, if she's 80. And she was born in Pittman Center. Never heard of that. Pittman Center, Tennessee. Celebrated her 80th birthday on January 19th. Okay, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee declared January 19th, 2026 as the official Dolly Parton Day. So I guess I had a good suggestion, didn't I? I guess somebody already thought of it before me. January 19th, 2026 was the official Dolly Parton Day. Well, I hope they celebrate that day every day as Dolly Parton Day. Okay, January 19th. I gotta look that up tonight. Pittman Center, Tennessee. I know she had a house in Nashville on quite a, it was a large property. It was gorgeous. Um, and her full name is Dolly Rebecca Parton. Well, Dolly, you lived an incredible life. Hey, Teresa. Just getting ready to go off the air, but I got 2 Dolly Parton videos if you want to watch the lives from earlier today. Thanks for coming, everybody. Godspeed, Dolly.